Hi friends, this is me Dr. Jagdish Jagtap and today we'll be discussing the cost benefit analysis of reading the India Yearbook. Now I know it's a huge tome to read and most of us think that like really is it worth reading it. So we'll do a short analysis and then we'll come to a decision whether is it important or no. So I have used the question set C of the 2015 prelims for this analysis and let's proceed. Well, uh, now this part we'll analyze right now, and we'll discuss about this in a short span. Like this India Yearbook data really adds to your mains answers. Like suppose you have been asked a question like you have to just suggest some measures, and you write 1, 2, 3 measures which have been already implemented by the government. Then in this case you are reinventing the wheel, like it has been invented long time back and you are again reinventing it. So it's really a waste of labor and the examiner will get a very bad idea about you. So instead of that, you do one thing, you tell that government has done A, B, C, and then there are some problems A, B, C, and so we should do this, and this should be an innovative solution, not this, because this has been already done by the government. Sorry. So this is where the knowledge of the India Yearbook comes in hand, and then we have something called as interview where you might need it, and then the essay. In essay also you will require the yearbook because the same thing, like some government schemes, some achievements of the government which you will need to like sprinkle here and there in the essay. It depends upon the topic, but having this knowledge always helps because now there is a trend of two essays, and one of them might be an essay which will be very much information centric, and in that case you will have to have the right information only. So moving ahead, let us go to the analysis part. Now I have analyzed the question paper and I have tried to find out the answers from the yearbook. So let's go with the first question. There was a question asked about the East India Summit, and this like the question was, is India part of it or not? And we have the answer clear cut given in this page 484 paragraph 1. Then we have this we had the scheduled tribes provisions question, and the answer was given in this page, these headings. And there was one question about the union budget, like which department gives it. They had provided the answer as Department of Revenue Affairs, but the answer is this. Then they had provided an option which was wrong, so this was the right answer. Then we had one statement whether the consolidated fund requires parliamentary permission, and whether the public account fund requires parliamentary permission. So these answers are given in clear cut crisp statements in the yearbook at this page under the I guess Department of Economic Affairs and Annual Financial Statement. So you can edit it from there. Then we had this question about the Accelerated Irrigation Benefits Program and the Command Area Development Program. They had asked the launch years and the purpose of those programs, but now both these programs have been scrapped and they have been replaced by the Prime Minister Krishi Sinchai Yojana. So you won't find these two programs in the new yearbook uh, because they have been replaced by this flagship scheme in the new yearbook. Then we had one question about the Genetic Engineering Appraisal Committee. This answer is given in two places. One is the biosafety research and one is the environmental conservation. These questions are really niche questions, like you might get them somewhere in some book or some other source, current affairs and so on, but they are be given a clear cut straightforward in this yearbook. So I guess it will be very helpful if you have gone through this book once or twice. Then we had this question about the Indian Ocean Rim Association for Regional Cooperation, IORARC. And they had asked whether has it been established recently and what is the purpose. Now recently it has been established in 1997. Now for a student of history, this is recent, but generally speaking, it's not recent. So the answer should not have been recently established, and it has been clear cut given in this 500 page. Then we had this question about Indian remote sensing satellites, which could be answered from this text given in page 771. Then we had this question about the relative size of legislative council to the legislative assembly, and the answer has been clearly given in legislative council part, sorry, page 73 of the yearbook. Now we had a question about whether, like, why is India having a parliamentary system? Well, that is because the Council of Ministers is responsible to the Lok Sabha. Well, it's not to the Rajya Sabha, or it's not to the Parliament entirely. It's only to the Lok Sabha. Then we had a question about the Prime Minister Jan Dhan Yojana. They have given a huge essay in this page. Actually, in the old yearbook, but in the end they only asked about financial inclusion. Then we had a simple question: directive principles of state policy. What kind of justice they provide, that is social economic justice, and whether they can be, like, are they justiciable in court? It is not. So that answer has been straight away mentioned here, page 33. Then there was this question about the fair and remunerative prices approved by. So, well, actually the thing is that the Commission for Agriculture Costs and Prices gives the recommendations for this, because they have to do all these calculations and all, which the ministers, like, you really know how much educated they are, so they don't do all these calculations, they recommend. Well, then this recommendations go to the Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs, and these fellows then finally give the approval. So the answer will be the government. Then we have this question about fly ash utilization, and this answer ka only 50% was mentioned in this page. Like, the rest 50% you had to, like, Google it, or like, but अभी ये तो सिर्फ इन you can understand in retrospective analysis कि थोड़ा और पढ़ना चाहिए था. But even in the exam scenario, if you can eliminate two options and then take a guess, intelligent guess, then it will be fine, I guess. Then we had this question about the sanitary and phytosanitary measures from the WTO, and they have been comprehensively given in these 2 pages of the yearbook. Then we had a huge thing about Niti Aayog replacing Planning Commission. This is mentioned here. Then we had this unique question from the yearbook, because you can find this question in other books also, but usually don't focus upon the administrative part of government. We learn the Prime Minister, Chief Ministers and all, Governor, President, but this Cabinet Secretary, actually this is the highest post that an IAS officer can reach. He is the ex officio chairman of the Civil Services Board. So this was asked. It's not the Prime Minister, it's the Cabinet Secretary. So this question was asked, and its answer is clearly and very, like, simply put in this page number 44. Well, and the final analysis is that 16% questions, like 16 questions, had directly been asked from this yearbook, and this from other sources. So this comes to around 2.5 marks for each question. Sorry, 2 marks for each question. Comes to around 32 marks. So that's a really good cost benefit ratio. Like, the fruits of your labor will really pay off if you can read this book. In the coming few days and weeks, I'll be putting up videos for the yearbook and the economic survey also. So you can subscribe to the channel Like whenever I upload videos, you will come to know about it. Well, thanks for your time. Have a great day ahead.